Alright, so today we are going to talk about adding integers, and if you remember what an integer is from quite a few weeks ago, it is a positive or a negative number. So today we're going to talk about how to add them. So on the left-hand side of the screen, I found this poster online that I thought was really great. So there are two rules when we're adding integers. The first is if they have the same signs, and the second rule is if they have different signs. So let's take a look at the steps for adding integers if they have the same signs. The first thing we're going to do is add their absolute values. So if you remember what an absolute value is, it is the distance from 0. So if I have -6 plus -2, the absolute value of -6 plus the absolute value of -2. Now, if you remember, how far away is -6 from 0? So if I were to think back and look at a number line, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 6. -6 is 6 steps from 0. -2 is 2 steps from 0. So now I'm simply just going to add these two. So I have 6 plus 2, which is 8. Now let's go back to step 2. Keep the common sign. So if I look back at my original problem, -6 plus -2, what type of sign did they have? They both had a negative, so my answer is going to have a negative. So this would be the same if they were both positive. So let's try another one. So now let's say I had 9 plus 10. Now, this looks like just a regular old addition problem. So just do it that way. 9 plus 10 is 19. Both of them are positive because there's no negative sign there. So there you have it. You could also do it like these steps say, the absolute value of 9 plus the absolute value of 10. You will get the exact same answer. Now let's talk about what to do if the signs are different, because this is where things get a little tricky. So the first thing it says is to subtract the absolute values. So let's say I have -9 plus 10. Let's talk absolute values. So -9 is 9 steps from 0. And 10 is 10 steps from 0. Now when we do subtraction, the bigger number has to come first. So I'm just going to rewrite this as 10 minus 9. Now 10 minus 9 is 1. Now because they had different signs, I have to go back to the original problem, which was -9 plus 10, and determine which number is bigger. So I have a -9 and a -10. Well, the absolute value of -9 is 9, and the absolute value of 10 is 10. So which one is bigger? 10. So I'm going to keep the sign that is with the bigger number. So 10 is positive, which means my answer is positive. And because the answer is positive, I don't need to write any other sign. I just write a regular old number. So now, let's try one the other way, where we have another addition problem, but the negative number is bigger. So let's say we have -20 plus 5. So these two have different signs. One is negative and one is positive. So I have to find their absolute values first and then subtract them. So 20 and 5, which gives me an answer of 15. Now I have to go back to the original problem and say, okay, which number was bigger, 20 or 5? Well, 20 is bigger than 5. So I take whatever sign is attached to the 20, and my answer is negative. Now, there is another way to do this, not just following the rules, but there is a way to do this using a number line. So now I'm going to show you how to do a number line. So let's take negative 6 plus 4 or 5, let's say. All right, so when we do a number line, we're always going to start off with the very first number that we're given. In this case, we're going to start off at negative 6. Now, because I have an addition sign, that means I'm going to move to the right. And in this case, because the 5 is positive, I'm going to move to the right 5 spaces. Now, we're going to talk about what happens if this second number is negative, because we have to do the opposite. If it's negative, we have to move to the left. So I'm going to start at negative 6, and I'm going to hop 5 spaces to the right because 5 is positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That brings me to negative 1. So negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Now we can check ourselves using the rules that we previously learned. So we would have to subtract 6 and 5 because they're different signs, so that gives me 1. And then when I look at the numbers 6 and 5, 6 is bigger, so I'm going to take whatever sign is in front of it, and that gives me the negative. Now, let's talk about what to do when the second number is negative. All right, so I have 10 plus negative 4. All right, so I've set up my number line. I'm going to start at the first number, so that's 10. Now, because I am adding a negative number, the negative number, we are not going to move to the right. We are going to move to the left. So I'm going to start at 10, and I'm going to go back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that would land me on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can double check by saying, okay, 10 and negative 4, they have different signs. I'm going to subtract them. 10 minus 4 is 6. 10 is bigger than 4, so I'm going to keep the positive, which would give me positive 6. So please look on the PDF that says the last 3 weeks of assignments, because you will see today's assignment on there as well as the rest of what is planned for the year. Yes, we only have 3 weeks. So go ahead and take a peek at those. I'll also have today's assignment posted in the journal section, which will appear on your news feed. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, enjoy your day.